I often think to myself that the mark of a great movie is one that sticks with you. A movie or a good art piece, period, kind of changes a little bit about yourself, right? And one thing that the Final Destination franchise has been good at is making you scared of the most innocuous things. The most prevalent example being, I know I'm not the only one who, if you're riding behind a goddamn log truck, your ass gonna get from behind it or at least be scared while you behind it. That's just the fact of the matter. And now, with the new release of the latest Final Destination Bloodlines, the question is, does it do it again? Well, say don't. No, don't you talk it until you walked it. And I say, whenever y'all ready, ladies and gentlemen. Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. And today I will be giving my spoiler-free review of the brand new Final Destination film titled Final Destination Bloodlines, and it's pretty accurately titled. And before I get into that, I will say, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe so you can be notified when I have any future uploads. And it does just do the channel a lot of favors and help my channel grow and stuff like that, so I'd really appreciate that. But either way, today I'm going to be reviewing Final Destination. And I will say, when I first heard about this movie, I was excited because I am a big fan of the Final Destination films in and of themselves. But when you think about a Final Destination film, as far as I'm concerned, you really just think about the kills, the creative and gory way it kills people. You're not really concerned with the characters. The plot really doesn't matter. You know it's going to be a super creative and gory big kill at the beginning. Some people are going to survive and then try to live the rest of the movie. And this movie does that, but it does kind of add a little twist to it. For one, it's not any spoilers, so I'm not going to get into any spoiler stuff. I'm just going to kind of speak on what the trailer shows. This story is essentially about a woman named Iris who stops a huge tragedy from occurring. I think she saves like over 100 people's life. And then after that, it kind of shows us what would happen if a whole bunch of people who survived death and lived beyond the time they were supposed to, what would happen if those people lived and then had kids who weren't a part of death design? And so now they have to be eradicated. And it kind of delves into that in a pretty unique way. Iris having the initial inciting incident. God damn it. My light cut off on me mid speech, and I'm just gonna finish this without the light, bro. I forgot to charge it. I'm not stopping this. It is what it is. The movie starts with a woman named Iris, and then the movie actually follows her granddaughter who has dreams of the premonition her grandmother had. Then she goes to find her grandmother, find out what's going on, and from there, she spends the rest of the movie trying to save her family from death's design. Off rip, the first thing that I really noticed about this movie that was intriguing to me is I could tell early on the characters are going to matter. If you think about any of the previous Final Destination movies, you don't really care about the characters outside of their death. There's really not enough to lay the foundation for making us care about the characters or know who they are outside of them just wanting to live. But this movie, you could tell, was going to take time and make us care about the backstory of the characters. I think before this, the only lead character I really cared about was the one in Final Destination 3, paired by Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, whatever her name was. Like, I remember watching her performance and thinking, oh, she's an actually talented actress. This is me like when I was younger, when it first came out, and even rewatching them in preparation for the new one coming out, I thought the same thing. But this movie, I wouldn't say the talent is high as far as the protagonists go. I wouldn't say that she's as good of an actress, but the story they write with that character is really good. And another positive, which should be pretty obvious and should be a given in a Final Destination movie, the kills are good. So good, in fact, I think there's at least 2 kills in this movie that could make it to like the best in the whole franchise. Like if you listed out your favorite kills in the Final Destination franchise, I wouldn't be surprised if at least like 2 of these from Final Destination Bloodlines make it in the top 10. Like there's some really good kills. They don't hold back on the gore. There are some aspects about it that aren't as good, and I'm gonna get to it when I get to my negatives about the movie. But as far as just the kills being creative and something that kind of make you like cringe a little bit, is really good. Like, I gotta give them points for that. Speaking of cringe, the movie makes you cringe a lot throughout, but in that Final Destination way, where you know something's about to happen, or you see something that looks really painful, or you see something that could be really painful, had the characters interacted with it, so it makes you like cringe and sit up in your seat kind of worrying what's going to happen. This movie does that a lot, and it does it well. It's like the perfect kind of cringe. It's not like Michael Scott in The Office cringe.
What they say, fool me once, strike one, but fool me twice, strike three.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like actual cringe, like the word I feel like probably was meant to be used. Like you're like literally cringing in your seat. I loved it. All of the acting is pretty solid. Our lead is pretty good. The connection she has with her brother is pretty good. But I think throughout the whole movie, the relationship that matters to me the most is this relationship between two brothers and one trying to save the other, and the way they go about it. It really makes you have some feels for these characters. I'm gonna be honest, in the whole Final Destination franchise, I don't think there's been many characters I've cared if they passed or not. But in this movie, I was actually caring about a few characters, like, I hope they don't pass, even though you know what's gonna happen. You're like, I hope they don't pass. And as what's kind of becoming a staple, or kind of became a staple in the franchise, was an appearance by Tony Todd. And I will say, out of all the appearances Tony Todd has had in the Final Destination franchise, this is my favorite one, because he gives a monologue about death. And man, in the theaters, I got chills. I legitimately got chills listening to the speech that he gave. I don't want to give it away, but it almost felt ominous. It almost felt like he was speaking to what was going to occur to him. I think I saw that he died from cancer. So part of me is wondering, like, did he know this was going to be his last one? So that's why he gave that speech the way he did. Either way, that might be my highlight of the movie. Like, just what he said, how he said it. It was heavy, and it added so much more weight to a movie that I was already enjoying. But the movie isn't like perfect. I think it does have some issues with pacing. Initially, I thought it was going to be paced pretty well when I watched the first few scenes of it, the first act or so. And then as it went on, it had some moments that I felt like could have been taken in, or, you know, just kind of shortened a little bit. There was also some moments of things kind of progressing a little fast. Like this thing would happen. I don't want to give it away, but something would happen. Then there would be an edit. And then people act like that thing never happened. And it's like, you know this happened, right? This just happened, bro. You should probably care about that. I don't think that's something you should just laugh off like ain't nothing happened. One of the major things that stood out, I think this is in all Final Destination movies, but it really stood out to me in a few of the deaths, is the CGI. It didn't feel like they had many practical effects. Like I was watching a documentary on some of the earlier Final Destinations, and they really put a lot of emphasis on having practical effects. Like the scene where the girl like blows up and the PVC pipe goes through her head. They had that practically done, where the body gets sliced into thirds and it falls in different directions. They did a lot of that practically. In this movie, I think they relied too heavily on CGI. So some of the kills, even though a lot of the kills are really like creative and interesting and gory and all those stuff I said before, some of them it kind of takes you out of it, because you see the CGI blood shoot up on the screen and it just looks fake. You know what I'm saying? It kind of takes you out a little bit. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie, man. As far as the horrors that I've seen this year, it's not as good as Sinners, but it is a pretty good horror suspense like type movie. And if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a solid 5 out of 7 Dragon Balls, man. I think it's good. I think it's acted well. Cinematography is good. The storyline does keep you intrigued. Like I said, the pacing isn't as great as it could be, but it is pretty good. It's only an hour and 50 minutes long, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. All in all, I think if you are a fan of the Final Destination franchise and what it does, you're going to enjoy this. It's been 14 years since the last Final Destination movie, so even if you're new to the franchise and this is you just hopping in, I think you'll still enjoy it. It's in theaters now. I think it's a good time. It's good for a date, or if you're a weirdo like me and you go to movies by yourself, it's good to just go solo watch. So y'all go and check it out, man. And like I said earlier, click the link down below, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Am I tripping? And then there's another question, right? List what is your order of Final Destination movies, right? Somebody asked me earlier and I was trying to rank them, and I couldn't really, because I didn't watch like 3 of them recently. There's a few of them I didn't watch and I should have, but I feel like I have Bloodlines either second or third. I have to watch it over again, but I feel like I have Bloodlines second or third in the franchise. Either way, whatever y'all feel about it, leave it down in the comments. I really appreciate you for watching, and I will have more videos out to y'all soon. Get out of here. No need to explain it, so don't. No, don't you try to make the
flies cool. And I say, don't. No, don't you talk it until you walked it. And I say,
Whenever y'all ready, ladies and gentlemen.